What would you change if you could change one thing about Donald Trump?
What would I change? The one thing about Donald Trump. I'm not sure I okay. If he would stop like making fun of other opponents or whatnot, Ron DeSanctimonious type of things. I think that's incredibly juvenile.
Even though it took a minute, we have discovered one thing that some in MAGA don't like about Donald Trump. That sadly, it's probably the same thing that most everyone else at these rallies does like about him. He definitely does.
It just felt good to me. And with her, it's just something that came. It's a little bit of a takeoff on her name, her name, wherever she may come from. But it's just
What do you mean by
bit of a
that?
takeoff.
What do you mean?
It's a little bit of a takeoff. I look at her name. I look at a lot of people. I do a lot of names for people, like Pocahontas. She said, my mother said I look like an Indian, so I started calling her Pocahontas. Some people say I'm very good at that.
It's obviously more of an annoyance than a deal breaker for these folks. And for some reason, supporters still have some hope that he'll stop doing it. Kinda.
Is there anything that would disabuse you of voting for Trump where he would lose your support?
He would lose my support if he continues like he did last time, calling people names. A woman that looks like a horse, she calls her horse face. Don't do that. Just be cool, okay?
You think there's a shot of getting him to do that?
One thing I didn't like about Donald Trump, and most people don't, is all this texting and calling people horse face and all that. So we're going to stop all that. We just have to stick to policy and procedure and the rule of law, among other things.
How are they going to get him to stop it? He has no plan, but still. He did mention policy, procedure, and rule of law under Donald Trump. In a recent interview with Maria Bartiromo, Trump said his policies include drill baby drill. I'm not sure if that's the name of a legislative bill. And also said he's going to shut down the border. This right after he told his puppets in Congress to oppose a border bill that would give his party many of the things that they wanted to shut down the border. But of course, you'd miss that if you were bathing in conspiracy theories and misinformation.
I think people have had enough of the third Obama administration. Now, the only fear that we have is what if Michelle Obama runs? And I'm saying, they came into office with $1.2 million. They were two lawyers. He had a half a Senate term. That's about right from Chicago. But now they're worth $150 million on a $400,000 a year salary. It just, you know and I know that people get their pockets greased. I don't think Michelle's going to want to come out and work because Barack never worked 40 hours a week. He left 300 vacant judge spots, and he did a lot of other things. He could have done more, but he didn't.
This formula to keep these voters on his side is pretty straightforward. Scare them into believing these wild scenarios about Democrats, while also convincing them that no matter what they've seen or heard from his own face, that he's their hero, simply because he's Trump.
What does great again mean? I mean, the economy is improving now. Gas prices are coming down. Do you sort of feel like a little bit of optimism?
I still feel like it's going downhill really fast, and I'm scared. I'm a mom. I have 3 kids. I have to work a full-time job, and it's still not enough. And Trump has a bad reputation, but he's also a strong businessman, and he's going to, make a lot of changes that maybe we won't like, but it's going to be changes we need, and I'm ready for that ride.